This man had discovered a clever way to make money. He pretended to be blind and sat in front of a temple to beg, earning 3 times what anyone else did. When crossing the street, people helped him kindly and with sympathy. He even received a free apartment from the government as a person with a disability. But he didn't stop there. Thanks to his piano skills, he played at parties in luxurious homes. No one suspected a blind pianist, so he used this to spy on the private lives of wealthy women. He never imagined that this deception would become his worst mistake. That day, he had a performance booked for a rich woman's birthday. When the woman opened the door, annoyance showed on her face. She said there must be some mistake and that she wasn't expecting anyone. Calmly, he explained that her husband had paid a deposit and the rest would be paid after the performance. Noticing that he truly appeared blind, she relaxed and allowed him in. He sat at the piano and began to play, but as soon as he struck a few notes, he was paralyzed with shock. There was a body lying in the living room. He immediately understood why she had refused to let him in at first. Despite his fear, he showed no sign of panic. He made an excuse to go to the bathroom, deliberately stepping in spilled red wine on the way to make his actions seem natural. He thought the bathroom would help him regain composure, but the opposite happened. Inside, the killer stood behind him, holding a gun. Fear stole his breath, and he felt his deception was about to be exposed. But luckily, the killer believed he was truly blind and didn't suspect a thing. Returning to the living room with his heart pounding, he recognized the dead man. It was the millionaire husband. Despite the terror, he continued playing as if nothing had happened. The woman pretended to talk on the phone with her husband, saying he would return in 10 minutes. Right before his eyes, they began moving the body. The killer placed the corpse in a bag, ready to dispose of it, while the woman went to the door and acted as if her husband had just returned, using a recording of his voice to simulate a conversation, then claimed he had to leave suddenly due to an emergency. The killer dressed in the victim's clothes, carried the bag, and left the house coldly and methodically. The pianist didn't go home immediately. He sat in stunned silence, debating whether to report what he had witnessed. The murdered man had been a generous patron who always gave him large tips at the bar and treated him with respect. They had laughed together just one day earlier, and now he had been killed by his own wife and her lover. Perhaps fate pushed him to do the right thing. He stood up and headed to the police station, determined to tell everything. But the moment he entered, he froze. The man he had seen holding a gun in that house was none other than the police chief himself, standing in uniform and speaking with officers as if nothing had happened.